So there's a sales skill that you already have just by being you that you're probably not using, but if you did, could drastically improve your sales, your win rate, and your revenue targets. Why are you using it? Because nobody's teaching it in sales training or MBAs or even advanced certifications. And when you ignore it, you make the sales cycle so much harder. You could say the wrong thing in the pitch, or you miss the cues that could have closed the deal faster. But when you're using the skill that you already have, you save time finding the right leads and only focusing on the ones that are ready and motivated. You close more effectively because you pick up on what's happening beneath their words and you crush your targets in real time. So that skill that you already have, it's what I call full spectrum intelligence, and it includes your intuition. Look, this isn't woo, it's physics. Your brain and body is designed to sense, receive, and interpret invisible data in real time. Data that never shows up in a spreadsheet, your market research, sales dashboards, or even an AI. Like a dolphin with sonar or an IoT device pinging the cloud, you access millions of bits of hidden information. It's the behind the scenes info, instant insight solutions, and the emotions and desires that can help you close faster. So here's how your intuition and full spectrum intelligence can deliver a massive competitive edge in sales and revenue. So you don't have to lose sleep over your cash flow, falling short on revenue targets, disappointing your boss or investors, or missing that sales incentive trip. And one of the fastest ways your intuition and full spectrum intelligence can increase sales is by helping you nail timing. This means you prioritize the right leads and accounts so you're not just working a list, you're reaching out to the right person at the exact right moment. And that's where intuition, or what I call full spectrum intelligence, changes the game. Instead of treating your pipeline like a flat spreadsheet, full spectrum intelligence helps you prioritize leads based on who is actually ready to move now or who has the most potential. So let's say you're looking at a list of 50 or 100 names, your sales call list, lead list, potential partners you've researched, or maybe just general accounts if you're in outside sales. You can't hit them all at once. So where do you start today? Or what will move the needle now? So instead of working them top to bottom, your intuitive system starts lighting up. These 5 are ready. These 2 are hot. You could really start to see the list as a heat map. The accounts are like pulsating. They're like jumping out at you. Or maybe your eyes force you to focus on a few names and you can't see anything else. So you reach out or you call the names that are popping out at you, right? And they're already primed. Maybe they've been looking for exactly what you have to offer. Or maybe you get a nudge to follow up on a lead you thought was dead. And they say, look, I'm so glad you called. My boss just resigned and their replacement wants something new. Or maybe you're guided to call an existing client who's more loyal to your competitor. And they say again, I'm so glad you called. They just raised their prices or rates or had a shortage. We're reassessing everything right now and we need a solution fast. That's not guesswork. It's real-time signals from the field. That's your full spectrum intelligence in action, scanning insight that you can use to your advantage. You're that dolphin, that's your sonar. And another way your full spectrum intelligence and intuition is a competitive advantage in sales, well, it helps you to stop wasting time on leads that we're never going to convert. It's like a silent alarm in your system. Maybe you're on an intro call and you hear a voice in your head that says, this person's wasting your time. They're not really real. You don't have the data yet, but something in your intuitive system already knows. Or maybe you're on a follow-up with an account who's moving along. They're super motivated. They're saying all the right things. But again, a feeling or maybe a voice in your head says, abort ship. They're poaching you for information. Or maybe budget's gone. The decision maker has changed and they haven't told you yet. Or maybe they don't even know it themselves. Or maybe everything looks great on paper. The energy is high, the deal's moving forward, but underneath it again, your multisensory system says it's not going anywhere. And here's the kicker. If you ignore it, which I'm sure you have, and I'm sure it's happened, you end up kicking yourself later saying, why did I waste my time? Why did I go in that direction? It's probably because you saw something that you just wanted to believe, right? Or you saw what was on the surface. But don't pass them off. Let a competitor of yours waste their time. You've got better deals to close. Your intuition and full spectrum intelligence in these scenarios just saved you days of effort, months of follow-up, and a ton of lost energy. And as you know in sales, time is money. That's the power of full spectrum intelligence in action. So another way your full spectrum intelligence and intuition gives you a massive competitive edge in sales is that it acts like a mental inbox and a kind of GPS that can guide you to where you need to go or what you need to do to make the sale. Maybe you get a ping, call this person, message that contact, go to this event, and a great synchronicity occurs. For me, this has happened so many times, and honestly, it can be so much fun. There have been many times where my intuition specifically said, go into this restaurant, sit at the bar, and have a glass of wine. I mean, my intuition knows I have a strong affinity for Sauvignon Blanc, and I will always follow that guidance. So I do. I go to the restaurant or I go to the bar, and wouldn't you know it, I'm sitting next to somebody who's a major connector or somebody in the exact industry that I work with, a potential client or collaborator. Another time I was told exactly where to go and what table to sit at. And within minutes, somebody sat down, heard what I did, and hired me on the spot. I actually have a video on this. It's fun. I mean, even though I just gave away the punchline, but how it happened and what I did and how I received the information is a really great learning lesson. So I'll link it below. Or maybe you're guided to attend a conference and that decision maker you've been trying to reach for months, they're right in front of you in the buffet line. It can be so much more fun when you follow that intuitive GPS. And that one move, it could open the door to a new contact, a decision maker, a potential partner, and more. This is not coincidence. This is real-time data. Again, real-time data from the field. It's not magic, it's physics. Real-time signals that are putting you in the right place at the right time with the right person to get to your goal. So another way your intuition and your full spectrum intelligence helps you close deals faster is in your sales conversations, your pitches, and your negotiations. It literally changes how you sell and what you say. Because your full spectrum intelligence includes your multisensory awareness. It gets you out of your head and into the room. Instead of mentally running through what to say or how to respond, all of that swirling that goes on in the sales call, right? You're constantly ping-ponging every potential way this could go. Instead of that, you are also tuned in to the person or the people in front of you. You're reading them. You're picking up on what's not being said, the emotion behind the question, the deeper desire behind the ask. You sense hesitation before it even shows up in their voice. You're tuned into the emotional temperature of the conversation, and you adjust in real time. And you trust that what you naturally say is the right thing in the right time for what needs to land on their mental map. You're not just reciting a pitch or running through your consultative sales framework. You are in a dynamic dialogue. So another thing that can happen, maybe you feel the moment they lean in, even if they don't move, and you naturally follow that thread, expand on it, and explore it. Or maybe you sense when something's off. You feel resistance, hesitation, doubt, even if they're smiling and nodding. Instead of skipping over it, you pause, you address it directly, or you back off because that's what they need. And they think, wait, how did you know that? That's what I meant, not what I said. That's the difference. You stop pushing and start co-navigating. You meet them where they really are, their actual wants, their fears, their emotions, and their desires. Because people don't buy based on logic. Logic is only 5% of our decisions. They buy based on emotion, their subconscious programming. I have a video on that too. And their fear versus safety. This isn't body language, it's deeper. It helps you build trust and it helps them feel safe. And when people feel safe, they write checks or send the wire and they emotionally attach to you. So if you want to use your intuition and full spectrum intelligence to close more deals, here's what we just covered. First, you can use it to zero in on timing, calling the right lead at the right moment, and knowing which leads to call first. Second, you can use it to filter out dead leads early and stop wasting time on deals that were never going to close. And third, you use it like a GPS, putting you in the right place at the right time with the right person who could become your next client, partner, or catalyst. And fourth, you can navigate sales conversations more skillfully by reading emotion, energy, and nuance in real time. Each of these changes on their own makes a huge difference, but together they compound. Over time, this creates shorter sales cycles, more consistent closings, more predictable revenue, not just meeting your targets, but exceeding them, more quickly landing the next funding round for that investor who's just been waiting for you to hit that revenue threshold. And ultimately less effort, more flow, and some more fun. This is how you sell smarter, not harder. So if this video resonated and you liked it, please like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Share how your intuition has helped you close a deal. And if you want to go deeper into how to use your intuition in business, hiring, innovation, decisions, check out the other videos on this channel. I got some great ones linked below. So let's keep going and take care.